Okay, the sphere shading using the photo image. Here is the image that we're going to be using. So you will need to get a nice round circle. I'm not too concerned about this horizon being absolutely perfect, but we do want to do our best on capturing the different tones and the cast shadow and then the reflective highlight that's right here. There's a reflective light here, and of course this is the brightest part of the sphere. So let's begin drawing the contour. I do like to use things that are round to draw, so I'm going to begin with this circular tool, and I want you to always start off with a regular pencil unless you're real good at controlling the amount of pressure you apply to a surface. So looking at the image, we want to put both of these on here and squeeze them in. Looking at the image, I'm looking at the angle of the background line and where it cuts through the top. I'm just going to put it in there real loosely. This will just help orient just a little bit. So our goal here is to match all these values. Okay, so we want to begin shading with a sharpened pencil, and I do feel confident in starting with this dark shadow that's on the edge here, and then let's finish the contour of the cast shadow real fast. It begins right around here. Like if this was 6 o'clock, that'd probably be 7, almost 8. And then where does this one, so just a generalized ellipse here, okay? So we might have to, you know, we have 3 different tones going on there. Actually, there's a lighter area. This is like a 7, this is like a 6.5, and this is like a 8, 9, and 10 in here. So there's some really subtle details that we want to start to notice, okay? So we could just very carefully start off with a lighter value. We can always add more, okay? So if we want to go light and just get the shape in there, and then ask yourself, which is darker? Is the cast shadow darker or the sphere? So the cast shadow is definitely darker in this one particular area. So smooth shading in a circular motion. Have your kneaded eraser, your pencils, and your sharpener close by. Okay, so I can always come back in and perfect these things. I want you guys to be able to see the detail. I also want you to be able to see the photo too. It's a little tricky. Okay, get them both on there. It's important for this line to stay crisp. It kind of went over the edge a little bit, so I'm just going to sharpen that on the outside only. Okay, so I'm going to go in and notice how this is lighter. Right here, you can use your sticky eraser to pull some of this stuff back in there. But I'm gonna leave that shape. This is like a 2 in there. So remember to refer to your value scale for this. And elimination of outline is our goal. So I'm already looking at the outline that is here and realizing that maybe my outline is a little bit dark. So, because trying to eliminate it there went a little bit darker than I wanted to. So up this edge, and we can always do that number 2 value towards the 1 on the outside, really defining the inside in this particular image. So sometimes the negative space helps define the positive space, okay? Oh, and there's a highlight right there that I overlooked. for a second. Right there. Okay. All right, let's continue playing the value matching game. I'll warm my pencil up for shading those dark areas. So I am continually looking at my image and then looking at my paper. Remember, you can always go darker in those darker areas, but in those lighter areas, lightening it up is a little bit more tricky. Be careful with your edge. Try not to go outside the edge. So if you need to use some contour lines to really define this edge, stop and do that. And that edge is real dark right at the edge through here. And then it fades in. Sorry for the interruption. Alright, so we're working our way up to this highlight. Okay, so I'll probably go back in with my sticky eraser and pull this highlight back out there. There's some areas I want to add first. Okay, so sticky eraser, so highlight here, and then I'm going to be real delicate, kind of go in and pull that highlight through in there. That's what your sticky eraser is for. There are some midtones in here that I want to capture still. And then the background as well. The background is going to define some of this in a different way once we put it in. So we could stop right here because you can always add more. And we can always continue darkening some of these areas and creating smoother transitions after we put in our background. So it's nice to have that as a reference. So I am going to use the side of my pencil to do the background, and I'm going to be real careful in my light areas. So I'm going to actually turn this upside down so that I don't mess up what I did below, and I can have a good angle. Okay, so I'm just warming up my pencil. So I am looking at the image. We don't want to use the side of our pencil on detailed objects. This is just a background. So the background varies. It's a little bit darker towards this back corner. I don't have to do the whole page. Just enough to finish it. And then the surface is a lot lighter. We don't want it to be floating. We want to give it an orientation. If you want, you can get a note card or something so that your edges are even and straight. This is the trickier part. So I'm going to turn it back around so we can look at it and see that this is not finished. That part you gotta be real careful. Okay, we're getting close. We still need to capture this highlight right here and fix the cast shadow. So let's shade around that highlight. I think I'm going to use my sticky eraser for that highlight to really kind of give it a shape. It goes at an angle. It is a little bit tricky to see. Okay, so once you have completed all these different parts, then you can go ahead and submit your work. This is the very darkest part of the actual sphere, so it's very important to finish that part. So I really put everything in there so I could reference what that needed to be. There's a little bit more contrast here. We could darken the background still to make that pop. Okay, so there's our sphere. We could finish up the shadow, the cast shadow right here. There's a double cast shadow and then we're done. The second one is real subtle, but it's there. Okay, we're almost at 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. Thank you for watching.